Disclaimer: this script is produced for entertainment and informational purposes only. All statements regarding vehicle performance, reliability, market trends, and consumer behavior are based on publicly available information and general industry observations as of 2025 to 2026. Car Exposed does not claim affiliation with Lexus, Toyota, Land Rover, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, General Motors, or any other automotive brand mentioned. Figures, rankings, and comparisons are illustrative and should not be taken as financial, purchasing, or investment advice. Always conduct your own research before making any vehicle purchase decision. Welcome to Car Exposed. Just a year ago, if you asked any car analyst which luxury SUV was about to shake up the entire market, the Lexus GX was probably not the first name on anybody's list, maybe not even the second. But here we are in 2026. And dealers are struggling to keep the GX in stock. Luxury buyers, people who have been driving Range Rovers, BMW S, and Mercedes G-classes for years, are now walking onto Lexus lots and writing checks. So the big question is, what changed? Was it a marketing campaign? A celebrity endorsement? Some viral moment nobody saw coming? Because the real reason behind the GX explosion has almost nothing to do with horsepower. And when you find out what it actually is, it changes the way you think about the entire luxury SUV market. Stick with us because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why some buyers right now are willingly sitting on waitlists, sometimes for months, just to get their hands on one of these. And trust me, this story goes deeper than most people realize. Before we talk about the GX specifically, we need to zoom out for a second because what's happening with the Lexus GX right now isn't an isolated event. It's a symptom of a much bigger shift happening across the entire luxury vehicle market. Here's what the numbers tell us. Luxury SUV demand has completely overtaken luxury sedans. If you walk into almost any premium dealership today, whether it's BMW, Mercedes, Cadillac, or Lexus, the SUVs are the stars of the showroom, and the reason isn't complicated. Today's luxury buyer doesn't just want prestige on four wheels. They want a vehicle that can do school pickups on Monday, handle a weekend mountain drive on Saturday, and look impressive parked outside a restaurant on Friday night. They want practicality. They want comfort. And yes, they absolutely still want status. That's the combination that's driving the market right now. And it's why vehicles like the Range Rover, the Cadillac Escalade, the BMW X5, and the Mercedes G-Class have remained some of the most talked about vehicles in America. But here's the thing about that list. Every single one of those vehicles comes with a price tag and an ownership experience that not every luxury buyer is willing to accept anymore, and that is exactly where the Lexus GX walked through an open door. Because what happened next in the GX story? Nobody in the industry predicted it. And it starts with one decision Lexus made that changed everything. Let's be honest about something. For years, for a long time, the Lexus GX was what you politely call a vehicle for a very specific buyer. It was boxy. It was conservative. It was the kind of SUV your uncle drove because he needed reliability and didn't care much about turning heads. It sold, but it didn't excite. Then Lexus made a decision that, looking back now, was genuinely bold. They completely redesigned it, not a refresh. Not a few new trim levels and a slightly updated grille. A full ground-up redesign that transformed the visual identity of the vehicle from something quiet and understated into something that actually looks like it wants to be noticed. The new GX is aggressive. It's angular. It has a presence on the road that the previous generation simply didn't have. But here's the part that made luxury buyers stop and pay real attention. They kept the body-on-frame construction. Now, if you're not deep into the car world, that might sound like a technical detail that doesn't matter. But it matters enormously to a specific type of buyer, and that buyer is exactly who has been driving GX demand through the roof. We are living through the peak of the off-road luxury trend. Buyers want a vehicle that looks like it could handle rugged terrain, even if it never leaves the suburbs. The body-on-frame chassis delivers that feeling, that genuine capability, that a car-based crossover simply can't replicate. And Lexus wrapped all of that in a genuinely premium interior with the kind of finish quality and attention to detail that European luxury brands charge tens of thousands more to match. But the biggest surprise? The GX started pulling buyers from brands that Lexus has historically struggled to compete with. And there's one feature those buyers keep mentioning over and over again. We'll get to that in 60 seconds, and it's not what you'd expect. Here's a question worth sitting with for a moment. What does luxury actually mean to you? If you asked that question 10 years ago, most buyers would tell you horsepower, screens, soft leather, brand prestige. But the conversation has changed. More and more luxury buyers, especially buyers who've owned one or two European SUVs before, are adding a new item to that list. Peace of mind. That might sound simple, but think about what it actually represents. It means getting into your vehicle every single morning and knowing it's going to start. It means not dreading the end of the warranty period. It means not needing a spreadsheet to track service appointments and repair bills. Lexus has built a reputation over decades for delivering exactly that in long-term reliability surveys across multiple independent organizations. Lexus consistently ranks among the most dependable brands in the automotive industry. That's not marketing language. That's data built up over many years of real-world ownership. Now, to be fair, and we always try to be fair here on Car Exposed, other brands in this space build excellent vehicles. The engineering in a modern Range Rover or a BMW X5 is genuinely impressive. These are sophisticated, capable machines. But sophisticated engineering and long-term ownership simplicity don't always go hand in hand. The more complex a vehicle becomes, the more there is that can eventually need attention. And for some buyers, that calculation matters. For many GX converts, the switch wasn't about finding a better vehicle on paper. It was about finding a better ownership experience in real life. But reliability alone doesn't explain why inventory is disappearing this fast. There's another force driving demand, and most people are completely overlooking it. So you've got a completely redesigned vehicle. Strong reliability reputation. A rugged capability story that resonates with the current market. That would be enough to drive solid sales from most brands, but it doesn't fully explain why some Lexus dealers are posting waitlists. It doesn't explain why certain trims, especially the top-end configurations, are moving before they even hit the lot. To understand that, you have to look at what's happening on social media. The Lexus GX has developed a genuine organic following online, not paid influencer campaigns, not manufacturer-sponsored content, or at least not primarily. We're talking about real owners posting real experiences. Off-road adventure content featuring the GX has been performing well across multiple platforms. Lifestyle content showing the vehicle in luxury settings, comparison videos, owner reviews. And what's unique about the GX audience is that it crosses demographics. You've got serious off-road enthusiasts who appreciate the capability. You've got urban luxury buyers who appreciate the design and the badge. And you've got value-conscious premium buyers who are running the math on total ownership cost and liking what they see. That's a rare combination in any market segment. Add to that the broader trend of the off-road luxury market expanding. The same trend that has kept the Defender and the G-Wagon at the top of everyone's wish lists, and you've got a vehicle that arrived at exactly the right moment. Demand surprised even Lexus's own dealer network. And there's another reason demand exploded that most people completely overlooked. It has nothing to do with specs or off-road trails. It has to do with something much more psychological, and it's the hidden reason the GX became aspirational in a way it never was before. Let's talk about something that doesn't show up on a spec sheet. Status, not the old kind of status. The kind that requires the flashiest grille, the loudest exhaust note, and the most obvious badge possible. The new kind, there's a cultural shift happening in how wealthy buyers think about displaying success. The term you'll hear used is stealth wealth, the idea that real taste is quiet. That the most discerning buyers don't need everyone in the parking lot to immediately recognize how much they spent. For years, the Lexus GX actually suffered because of this paradox. It was too understated for buyers who wanted to be noticed, but it wasn't quite premium enough for buyers who wanted to feel genuinely exclusive. The redesign changed that equation. The new GX looks like it belongs in the same conversation as the Defender and the G-Wagon, without demanding the same attention. It's confident without being aggressive in the way it projects status. It says, "I've done my research, and I know what I'm doing," rather than "look how much I spent." That's exactly the register that resonates with the stealth wealth buyer in 2026. Add in the fact that it's genuinely uncommon. You're not going to see one on every corner the way you might see a BMW X5. And it starts to feel rare, exclusive, considered. Ironically, the thing making the GX more popular may be exactly what it doesn't try to be. But how does it actually stack up against the vehicles it's now competing with? That comparison, brand by brand, is coming right now. And one of these matchups might genuinely surprise you. GX versus Range Rover. Let's start with the big one. The Range Rover is still the benchmark for luxury SUV prestige in many buyers' minds. The interior quality, the ride comfort, the brand heritage, it's genuinely hard to argue with. But the Range Rover asks a lot of its owner in return, a higher purchase price, a more complex ownership experience over time, and a repair cost profile that has made some buyers hesitant. The GX counters with a dramatically stronger reliability story, a lower total ownership cost projection, and off-road credentials that are genuine rather than theoretical. It doesn't match the Range Rover in pure interior opulence, but it closes that gap much more than most people expected. For buyers who want the feel of a Range Rover without the long-term uncertainty, the GX has become a compelling answer. GX versus BMW X5. The BMW X5 is one of the best-selling luxury SUVs in America for a reason. It's sharp to drive, well-engineered, and the interior tech is genuinely impressive, but the X5 is fundamentally a road-focused vehicle. It prioritizes dynamic driving feel and on-road sophistication. The GX makes a different bet entirely. Body-on-frame construction, genuine off-road capability, and the durability story that BMW's car-based platform can't really match. These are vehicles that appeal to different philosophies. If you want to feel the road, the BMW wins. If you want to feel invincible on it, the GX has a strong argument. GX versus Mercedes G-Class. The G-Wagon is in its own category, and we should be honest about that. The G-Class is as much a cultural artifact as it is a vehicle. The price premium it commands is real, and for many buyers, it's justified entirely by what the badge represents. The GX is significantly more accessible in price. It doesn't carry the same cultural weight as the G-Wagon, but it delivers genuine off-road performance, a strong reliability profile, and a premium ownership experience that is, in many practical ways, more livable on a day-to-day basis. They're really not direct competitors, but the GX is pulling some buyers who looked at G-Wagon pricing and decided their money was better spent elsewhere. GX versus Cadillac Escalade. The Escalade is a statement vehicle. It's large, it's bold, and it delivers an unmistakably American luxury experience. The GX is smaller, more focused, and more versatile. If your priority is maximum interior space and presence in a driveway, the Escalade has the GX beat. But if your priority is capable, confident, long-term reliable luxury, and you don't need 3 rows of palatial seating, the GX offers a very different kind of satisfaction. So here's the real question. If you had the money today, and no brand loyalty pulling you in either direction, which one would you actually choose? Drop it in the comments. We genuinely read them, and the answers are always more interesting than you'd expect. And if you enjoy real car comparisons without the manufactured hype, that's exactly what we do here on Car Exposed. But first, there's one final piece of this story that explains why this might only be the beginning. So let's bring this full circle. The Lexus GX didn't dominate 2026 because Lexus suddenly out-engineered every European luxury brand on the market. It didn't dominate because of a viral ad campaign, or because the celebrity was photographed getting out of one. It dominated because it arrived completely redesigned, genuinely capable, and deeply reliable at the exact moment the luxury SUV buyer was changing their mind about what they actually wanted. The market wanted ruggedness. The GX delivered it. The market wanted reliability. The GX has that built into its DNA. The market was shifting towards stealth wealth aesthetics. The GX, with its confident, angular presence, fit that mood without being designed for it. And the market wanted a vehicle they could live with for the long term without constant anxiety. The GX answered that question better than almost anything else in its price range. That's not luck. That's a combination of the right product decisions landing at the right cultural moment. The demand surprised dealers. It surprised industry analysts. Honestly, based on the GX's history, it probably surprised Lexus themselves. The most interesting part? Lexus didn't create the flashiest luxury SUV in America. They created one people actually want to live with. And honestly, this might only be the beginning. Because if Lexus has learned anything from what happened with the GX, the next product decisions, they could shift the entire brand positioning in ways that nobody is talking about yet. We'll be watching. And when that story develops, you'll hear it here first. If you got value out of this breakdown, please subscribe to Car Exposed. We dig into real-world luxury SUV comparisons, industry shifts, and the car trends that are actually reshaping the market. Without the fluff and without the hype. Tap the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.